coming up on the news tonight. 27-year-old man accused of defiling 9-year-old girl set free, though doctors proved she was defiled.
Environment Minister tours plastic companies to ensure that biodegradable plastics are manufactured.
And also in this bulletin, preventing a civil war in Burundi, top on AU discussions. Hello, very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us here on GBC 24 and also on GTV for News Hour. My name is Abdul Hayi Momen.
And I am Shelley Anand. Clement Sam is our signer for tonight. And
in our very first story, for the family of a defiled 9-year-old girl, the scales of justice stepped the wrong way when its 27-year-old man she accused of defiling her several times over a 1-year period was pronounced innocent.
This is irrespective of the fact that doctors proved that she had been indeed defiled. In a court on Thursday, the accused person, Benedict Nyako, was acquitted and discharged of the offense by the court.
According to the judge, Justice Abena Ajindoku, she made her decision based on the fact that both the victim and her grandmother gave inconsistent reports of the year-long incident.
The criminal case has been in court for about 8 months now. The complainant, the 9-year-old girl, accuses Mr. Benedict Nyako of forcibly having sex with her over a 1-year period. A medical report on the minor shows that she has indeed been raped. According to the neighbor of the complainant, Hajia Fatia Said, she suspected that something was wrong because the minor always becomes afraid whenever she sees the suspect. She therefore interrogated the little girl on what had been going on between her and the 27-year-old accused person. She says the victim told her how Nyako fondled her on several occasions and forced himself on her, warning her not to disclose anything to anybody while threatening to kill her. Unfortunately, the 9-year-old and her grandmother, who is her ward, were unable to give a consistent report of events leading to the suspect's discharge by the court. The neighbor, Hajia Fatia Said, had a word of advice for parents.
The girl went through it, so she was able to narrate her story herself to these detectives. As to the judgment, the judge presented the case on what she had. We should all help the children. You see, society begins with the children. We should not let people just come and take advantage of our children.
After examining the case, the presiding judge, Justice Abena Ajindoku, on Thursday discharged the accused on the basis of inconsistent evidence. The lawyer of the accused was happy about the ruling.
What is important is that he's been acquitted and discharged. There is the need for us to revisit our criminal justice system, because what is the need for justice for all when people are coming out through the justice for all system and then other people are being sent out through the back door, only for us to institute another criminal justice for all program?
The accused, who was freed on Thursday, had been in custody for the past 8 months, awaiting this judgment.
And moving on to other stories now, the Minister for the Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, Mr. Mahama Yaruga, has toured some plastic manufacturing companies to see at first hand whether the directive to stop the manufacturing of plastics with less than 20 microns was being adhered to.
The 1st of November was the deadline for manufacturing companies to dispose of plastic materials with less than 20 microns. This is to ensure that biodegradable plastics are manufactured instead of plastics that do not decompose.
The ban on plastics was necessitated by the volumes of non-degradable plastics in the environment and the challenges it poses to humans, natural habitat and wildlife. The directive from the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology was for plastic manufacturing companies to produce biodegradable plastics that was up to 20 microns. All plastic producing companies were to dispose of plastic materials that were less than 20 microns, such as thin plastics, for packaging food before the deadline of 1st November 2015. It is to ensure that the directive is being adhered to that the sector minister toured some manufacturing companies in Accra. The minister's first port of call was the Mohinani Poly product. Here, the managing director of the company, Mr. Anup Mehta, took the team round the manufacturing units where biodegradable additives and processing of plastics are produced. The quality control manager of the company, Mr. Joseph Osei, spoke about the company's production since the ban was enforced.
So if you could see, whatever every machine is cutting is biodegradable material.
Mr. Mahama Yariga explained the rationale behind the ban.
This is a company that was already producing plastics, biodegradable, for exports to neighboring countries where they have a similar policy, and we have just initiated the policy, and therefore we are lucky that they are already doing it, so it's not that difficult for them to comply.
The minister and his entourage next visited Coliplast Limited. The managing director of the company, Mr. Fares Akol, briefed the delegation about the company's operation so far. The minister was of the view the move to enforce the ban on non-degradable plastics forms part of government efforts to address the sanitation challenges the country is grappling with.
You can reuse the plastic in general, all flexible and then rigid. But the rigid is much more reusable because you cannot lose anything. You can bring it and then recycle it again. Meanwhile, the flexible plastic, you need it still, but it is very difficult to recycle, especially when it comes to the very light wall thickness.
The minister was of the view the move to enforce the ban on non-degradable plastics forms part of government efforts to address the sanitation challenges the country is grappling with.
In a separate development, the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Mr. Mahama Yariga, has urged Ghanaians to patronize made-in-Ghana products in order to reduce the unemployment in the country and also grow the economy.
He made this comment during a visit to the Kantanka Automobile Company manufacturing site, where he test drove one of his cars. He said his locally manufactured cars can stand the tests of time.
The Kantanka range of vehicles built by Ghanaian inventor Mr. Safo Kantanka ranges from the SUV Onantefo, the Omama and the K71. The cars have been produced to capacity and are ready to be sold locally in Ghana and across Africa. On a tour round the manufacturing site, the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Mr. Mahama Yariga, was shown the processes by which the cars were assembled and the mechanism the cars go through before they become fully functional. Mr. Mahama Yariga said he will present a proposal to Cabinet concerning the mass production of the cars and ensure that the company is given some incentives.
There's absolutely no difference between this car that I've driven and any other car that I've driven before. It is only when we have facilities like this functioning that we can create jobs for the engineers and technicians that are graduating from our polytechnics, from KNUST, our engineering institutions. And so when you put in a word for Kantanka, know that you are probably also creating a job for your cousin, your nephew, and I'm sure in the not too distant future for yourself.
The minister went to a test drive in a Kantanka K71 and assured the media he will make sure he personally owns one. According to the CEO of Kantanka Company, Kwejo Safo, the cars were made to suit international standards, but first they will make sure they are available on the Ghanaian market.
We would need a lot of tax exemptions. I mean, we need the prices to be very, very affordable for, I mean, the middle class or even below to purchase the vehicles for all kinds of purposes. We need we need a policy whereby it would be noted that certain number of vehicles will be purchased from Kantanka Automobile, for example, to the security forces, to the ministries, departments, and MDAs as well. We have a testing line as well here that checks the weight, the brakes, all the safety features of the vehicles before they come out.
Kantanka Onantefo meaning long distance runner, Kantanka Omama meaning it stands out, and the Kantanka 71, which refers to the year they started manufacturing, are the names of the cars produced so far. However, the CEO said new names will keep coming as more vehicles are manufactured.
The minority leader in Parliament, Mr. Oseche Mensabunsi, says the government must increase funds allocated to the National Commission on Civic Education (NCCE) to whip up participation in the 2016 general election.
He says previous experience shows that more must be done to educate all Ghanaians on their basic rights, but he adds that this civic duty must be done with the necessary funds.
The National Commission for Civic Education (NCCE's) mandate is to educate Ghanaians on civic matters, but it is cash-strapped and unable to effectively perform creditably. On the floor of Parliament, the House approved various allocations of money for the Audit Service Department, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, as well as the National Commission for Civic Education. The minority leader in Parliament, Mr. Oseche Mensabunsi, said lack of funding and logistics are major challenges for the Commission, which must be tackled head-on as the country heads to the polls next year. He said the NCCE must educate all Ghanaians about their fundamental human rights and civic responsibilities. On the issue of voter apathy, Mr. Oseche Mensabunsi said it can be prevented if the Commission is adequately resourced.
Mr. Speaker, we are in an election year. We are in an election year, and we have often been mourning the fact that the NCCE is relegated to the background when it comes to advocacy, as far as the electioneering campaigns are concerned. And in this year, that is next year, you see all manner of accusations, especially against members of Parliament. So you expect the NCCE to at least lift up their game. And the same allocation for last year or this year is being made for next year, an election year.
In response to this, a Deputy Minister of Finance, Kaisala Tuforsen, said the Commission will soon be supported with a grant to enable it to carry out its planned activities towards ensuring a peaceful election come 2016. Next was the issue of corruption. As the Audit Service Department fights the canker, the House approved 140,611,756 Ghana cedis to support its fight against corruption.
If an auditor is going on site on his own resources, what type of audit do you envisage will come out of that work? Definitely, we are compromising with issues of transparency and our fight against corruption. And I don't understand why we cannot give this very important institution its independence by giving them the resources that they need to do their work very, very, very efficiently.
The House also read and presented the Maritime Pollution Bill.
The Commission.
In other news, a special stamp commemorating the 40th anniversary of ECOWAS was launched in Accra by Ghana Post.
Similar events are taking place in all other postal administrations in ECOWAS member countries.
Special stamps like these are designed on occasions to celebrate events and institutions. The visit of the U.S. President Barack Obama, the Black Stars' first qualification to the FIFA World Cup, and the Ghana at 50 celebrations all have special stamps to keep them etched in history. The idea of the ECOWAS stamp was hatched in November 2013, and since then, all member countries of the Postal Administration have designed special stamps around this to commemorate the formation of the sub-regional body. The managing director of the company, Mr. Eric Yao, said despite the slowdown in the pace of mails lately, stamp sales remain its second highest revenue generator.
Stamps play a significant role in the postal sector. And of course, it is our money displayed in various ways in the form of paper. Therefore, we are not only launching stamps, but also what we derive from the sale of these stamps.
The Deputy Communications Minister, who launched the new stamp, encouraged management of Ghana Post to initiate new ways to ensure that the GPO adapts and finds ways to remain relevant in this technological era.
From probably 2017 onwards, we want to see sustained profitability and sustained growth going forward, so that over time, when your debit income surplus balance is wiped off in the next 3-4 years, at least by 2019-2020, for the first time, Ghana Post should be delivering some dividends to the government of Ghana and to the people of this country for the work that they are doing.
Now, how would you feel if a party is being held in your home but you are not invited?
Now, this is the story of the children at Ekoso in the Eastern region who have to attend classes in a dilapidated building despite the hundreds of thousands of ounces of gold beneath their soil.
This is Ekoso, a mining community in the Eastern region. Ekoso is among the many communities that have been deprived of good social amenities despite the wealth found in their soils. A visit to Ekoso shows a quiet town with deplorable roads. Social amenities such as health posts and electricity are lacking. Education, which forms the bedrock of any society, is in a deplorable state. This is the Ekoso SDA primary school, where teaching and learning is always at the mercies of the weather, with half of the chairs broken down. The only place of convenience for the teachers and students is this structure. The teachers also lack a staff common room and have to make do with this tree. For the teachers, despite the challenges faced, they have managed to turn the fortunes of the children around.
5 years ago, the performance have improving year upon year. So if we should be studying under such a structure, I don't think it befits the school.
If others are enjoying all the facilities and some even doesn't have the opportunity even to see or to have a feel of how the computer looks like, and you ask them to go and write the same thing, excuse me, say it is not reasonable.
Though gold is not doing well on the international market, with an ounce of gold hovering around $1,068, the contribution of Ekoso to Ghana's gold industry cannot be underestimated. Is worrying. A resident of the town, Eyim Dankwa, urged artisanal miners to cover up pits they have dug because they pose threats to the lives of humans and animals.
We have written letters to the district assemblies to address the Galamsey issue.
The gold project manager, Mr. Yao Brichum, said Solidaridad has over the years set up a small town water supply system to provide potable water to the people of Ekoso and the surrounding communities. He pledged that other infrastructure projects such as a school would be put up for the people.
It's not to do with the provision of infrastructure, but rather to build the capacity of the community members to manage the infrastructure that they have currently. That's why we're proposing to have the water and sanitation committees, to train them, build their capacity for them to manage the water and infrastructure facilities here.
The project, which is dubbed the Face of Ghana's Gold, is aimed at improving the lot of inhabitants in mining areas and also providing them with basic amenities.
As Christians prepare to welcome the birth of Jesus Christ, Parliament has held its annual Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols in Accra.
The service was on the theme, Love, Keeping the Spirit of Christmas. The Bishop of Accra, Methodist Church of Ghana, Right Reverend Samuel Kofi Osabute, in his exhortation, admonished Christians to act out of love in every aspect of their lives. Vice President Kwesi Mr. Arthur graced the occasion.
The Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols is a service of Christian worship to celebrate the birth of Jesus. This is traditionally held during the Christmas season. The story of the fall of humanity, the promise of the Messiah, and the birth of Jesus is told in 9 short Bible readings from Genesis, the prophetic books, and the Gospels. The Bible readings are interspersed with the singing of Christmas carols, hymns, and songs of praise. The 9 lessons were read by the Vice President Kwesi Mr. Arthur, Chief Justice Georgina Theodora Wood, the Majority Leader of Parliament Alban Bagbin, the Minority Speaker of Parliament Oseiche Mensah Bonsu, the Director General of GBC Albert Don Chebe, among others. The Bishop of the Accra Diocese of the Methodist Church of Ghana, Right Reverend Samuel Kofi Osabute, spoke on the need for all to love one another, especially during the festive season. He said, love is an attitude, not just a feeling.
As we end the year 2015, amidst political, social, economic, and religious challenges, let us allow love, the spirit of Christmas, to guide our actions in all our relationships.
Prayers were said for the nation, especially during this Yuletide.
The National Media Commission has appointed the following as members of the Media Advisory Committee for the Ashanti region. Mr. Paul Edujemfi is a former chairman of NMC and former president of the Ghana Bar Association and chairman of Asante Kotoko Football Club, and he is the chairman. And Professor Tigri Egbenyega is the provost, College of Health Sciences, NUST, and he is a member.
Mrs. Felicia Sraha, former national president, Susanna Wesley Women's Group, Methodist Church, is a member. Mr. IKGC, retired educationist, columnist, and social commentator, is also a member. Mr. Emmanuel Yabua, headmaster of the Prempeh College, is a member as well. Mrs. Adjoa Amankwa, head of communications department, Christian Service University College, is a member as well. And Mr. Jonathan Frimpong is the head of the NMC office in Kumasi. He is the coordinator and a member as well.
The committee will, among other things, assist the NMC to deal with matters relating to the media and peace building, and also help settle complaints by and or against the media in the region in accordance with Article 167B of the 1992 Constitution.
The establishment of the committee has become necessary as the Commission strives to democratize citizens' access to mediation in media-related conflicts. The spread of media, especially radio, across the country makes it imperative for the Commission to expand its oversight role, especially in the regions.
This national need informs the Commission's decision to bring together reputable citizens with knowledge, skills, and expertise in handling matters involving media and peace building.
The Commission hopes to rely on the committee to build closer collaboration between the media, traditional authorities, civil society, state actors, and other stakeholders to create a conducive environment for the media to lead the nation's search for enlightenment. The establishment of the Regional Media Advisory Committee is a collaboration between the National Media Commission and the Media and Governance Institute, MAGI. And in other stories now, a dark brown Kia Sorento with registration number GN 958915 was stolen by armed robbers on Tuesday, 15th December 2015 evening at New Dowenya near Tema. Anybody who comes across the vehicle should report at the nearest police station or call mobile numbers 0242 867395 0242 867395.
We have more coming up after the break. Please stay with us.
A very good evening. Just around this time, you're sure to get the latest from the world of business. My name is Morris Ogbete. Now, the campaign to educate Ghanaians on how to make money and how it works to yield the desired results has taken off in Accra. But this time round, the train for the Financial Literacy Week will make special stops in rural areas from now till June 2016.
A study from the financial services company TIACREV showed that those with high financial literacy plan tend to double their wealth than those who do not have any knowledge in finances. This makes financial literacy more critical to the economic growth of a country, hence the establishment of Financial Literacy Week in 2007. The National Financial Literacy Week comes with the objective to provide Ghanaians with the opportunity to deepen their understanding on the need for good personal financial management. It is also aimed at providing the citizens with the financial knowledge necessary to create household budgets, initiate savings plans, manage debt, and make strategic investment decisions for themselves and their families. After 8 years since its inception, the Finance Ministry is widening the reach of the financial literacy in Ghana by launching the nationwide Financial Literacy and Awareness Campaign to educate Ghanaians, especially those in rural Ghana. The Deputy Commissioner of the Ghana Insurance Commission, Mr. Simon Nerokojo-Davo, said financial literacy will help make most Ghanaians financially independent. The Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Edu Anani Entry, underscored the need to roll out financial literacy programs for the youth to help them grow with that mindset.
Financial education is therefore key to the whole process of wealth creation and financial stability. For the ordinary Ghanaian worker, the ability to make savings from earnings and securely invest such savings in opportunities that will yield good returns is paramount.
The Chief Director for the Finance Ministry, Major M.S. Tara retired, said financial literacy has become more pertinent in the wake of rapid growth of microfinance Ghana.
The main target group for this campaign are farmer-based organizations in all the 216 MMDAs, comprising women's groups, smallholder farmers, youth in agriculture, financial services providers, and the general public.
The nationwide Financial Literacy and Awareness Campaign will use radio, television discussions, theatre shows to educate Ghanaians on how to save and invest for the future.
Reports from the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, shows that from 1994 to 2014, Upper East and Upper West regions attracted the least investment, while Upper East got 8, Upper West had 4. But the Greater Accra region took the chunk of the investment that came into the country over the 20-year period, totaling 4,215.
For over a decade, the number of investments registered under the Ghana Investment Promotion Center numbered 4,313. Out of this, the services sector recorded the highest of 1,305, with manufacturing following suit at 958. The agricultural sector, which is said to be the bedrock of the country, attracted only 105 investments. The GIPC therefore embarked on a regional investment tour to identify various investments in the regions for promotion. At a similar forum in Accra, Mr. Isaac Odampton, the mayor of Tema, called for MMDAs to scrutinize for viable investment opportunities that have not been fully tapped in their jurisdiction.
The regional investment sensitization tours, which the GIPC has embarked upon, are designed to encourage and prepare indigenous Ghanaian companies to be able to take advantage of the provisions in the local content law, which requires that the foreign investor cedes a minimum of 10% share to the local company as partner.
The Principal Investment Promotion Officer of the GIPC, Dr. Richard Ejay, said the trend of low investments in the 3 regions of the north is linked to the preparedness of the area to receive investors.
Investments go with the environment preparedness to receive them in their investments. And so, apart from the current find of gold in the lower part of the Upper West region, where you see people running to go and do galamsey, and some foreigners have already registered to exploit some of the metals, there's not enough attraction there.
The forum was the last to be held in the sensitization of the regions with respect to investments.
And still in business, Tamale, the northern regional capital, will play host to exhibitors who will take part in the 20th International Trade Fair slated for 25th February to 7th of March next year. The move is in line with steps taken by the management of Trade Fair and SADA to open the northern region to investors.
The first time the trade fair is going to be held outside Accra. Organizers say the decision to move the annual fair up north will help traders who can hardly afford to bring down their wares to Accra the opportunity to showcase their goods to customers and potential investors. Also, it will help in the government drive in promoting made in Ghana goods as well as bolstering economic activities in the Tamale metropolis. A member of the planning committee, Mr. Emmanuel Adamate Tete, encouraged investors to take advantage of the event to invest in the SADA zone.
This creates opportunities for Ghanaian companies desirous of expanding their operations up north to come along with us as we move up north. Our mandate is also in tune with getting research institutions to showcase their research materials during our events. The
board chairman of the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, Adam Sule, said SADA seeks to transform the zone through production and trade. He was optimistic the trade fair in the area will go a step further to open up the area.
Everywhere in the world, water transport is the cheapest source of bulk transport, cheaper than rail, with bigger upstream and downstream benefits. Picture the impact of the lake when fully functioning. It will stimulate significant investment in tourism along the river, including the Dagya forest and the haven of grain combined with recreational water transport. It can invigorate Ketekrachi and, who knows, stimulate boat building, make the Daboya smoke industry more accessible.
The 20th edition of the International Trade Fair in Tamale will start on February 25th to 30th of March 2016 and will attract 500 exhibitors, including foreigners.
And on the interbank market, the cedi rebounded to gain 6 pesos against the pound sterling to close trading at 5 cedi 71 pesos. It also appreciated by a peso against the euro, and it firmed against the US dollar to close trading at 3 cedis 80 pesos. Also bring you latest price of gold, cocoa and oil on the international commodities market. News hour will continue after this break. Stay with us.
It's a time in the news where we tell you about what's happening in the health world. And the Accra Sewage Improvement Project has been commissioned. The project will raise the total collection of sewage in Accra from 15 to 40%.
The $78 million project provides an environmentally and socially acceptable system for liquid waste disposal, thereby improving upon the sanitation drive of the capital. A report by Sarah Ofori.
World Health Organization, Ghana ranks 7th on the list of dirtiest countries in the world and 2nd on the continent practicing open defecation. Accordingly, the continuous existence of the Lavender Hill in Accra, for instance, is evidence that efforts aimed at disposing of liquid waste has left much to be desired. The Accra Sewage Improvement Project has therefore been demarcated into the northern and southern parts to help make the situation better. The northern part has 5 pumping stations lifting sewage from the University of Ghana, Presec, University of Professional Studies, Achimota School and its environment to the Legon Sewage Treatment Plant to be recycled naturally. Also, old sewers and manholes within those localities have been rehabilitated. For most parts of the southern zone comprising Accra Central, Jamestown, Korle Dudo, Tudu, Dansoman Ministries, Korle Gono and its environs, as well as Shiabu and parts of Ridge, existing sewers are being rehabilitated. Additionally, about 70 20-seater sanitary facilities have been built with mechanized boreholes for schools and clinics at the various assemblies within Accra. All these, when complete, will increase the total sewage cover of the capital from 15% to 40%. The Accra Improvement Sewage Project is largely funded by the African Development Bank with support from government, commissioning a 2-story administrative block with a carport holding 7 cesspool emptying trucks, 3 sewer flushing trucks, 1 maintenance service truck, 2 sewer rodding machines, and 2 pipe welding machines, among others. Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Mr. Emmanuel Ejekum, emphasized that good sanitation practice is a collective responsibility. Touring the block, he was full of praise for the quality of work done. According to the project manager, Mr. Stephen Akon, households sited close to the sewage network can apply to the Accra Sewage Improvement Project offices to be connected onto the system.
I will entreat everybody that if we call it wipers, if you visit the washroom and you wipe yourself, you use tissue. If you decide to use cloth, newspaper, corn cob or whatever, get a basket or a container with cover and put it in so that flies don't get to that. And you don't put that in or you don't flush it. It can just block the system. If people are also using sanitary pads, condoms and all those things, we see it as foreign matter. They should dispose it off properly, not in the WC by flashing, but in a basket. Then it is disposed of in a different way. And then also those who wash tiles with acid, they should not be putting it in our system because a number of the manholes are concrete. And if we have the acid, it corrodes the concrete and then it destroys the whole system.
The Accra Sewage Improvement Project is expected to improve and extend the sewage and sanitation system for disposing of wastewater in an environmentally and socially acceptable manner. It would also strengthen sewage staff of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to maintain the project on a sustainable basis. Sarah for GBC 24, Accra.
Watching News Hour on GBC 24 and GTV. We have more coming up after the break. Please stay.
And in news from elsewhere, the African Union discussing the situation in Burundi says Africa will not allow another genocide to take place on its soil. There are concerns that the recent deadly violence could spiral into civil war and possible ethnic conflict.
Last Friday, 87 people were killed in clashes in the capital, Bujumbura. The army said protests in Burundi began in April when President Pierre Nkurunziza announced he would seek a third term in office. The government has said there's no threat to and of a genocide.
Next, we'll bring you sports.
The arena of sports at the Ghana Military Academy GMA has commenced a 3-day inter-platoon novices boxing competition for regular career course intake 56. The event is taking place at the Military Academy and Training School Drill Square in Accra. 67 officer cadets of regular career course RCC, made up of men and women, are participating in the Ghana Military Academy Inter-Plateau Novices Boxing Competition. Inspecting the Guard of Honor was Brigadier R.Y. Odoi. The 3-day competition is to inculcate in the officer cadets endurance, teamwork, and esprit de corps under trying conditions. 24 officer cadets intakes battled each other in different weight categories. In the military, GBC 24 guided that boxing is one of the unarmed combat skills that professional military personnel must be conversant with. These officer cadets have been impacted with boxing skills that they must use to protect innocent civilians and for their self-defense. The night was not solely for men, as the lady officer cadets were also on hand to display their physical fitness, bravery, determination, and endurance. The objective of this basic military training is to turn out well-trained, highly motivated, physically and mentally toughened soldiers capable of undertaking any task when called upon. Awards will be presented to individuals for their outstanding performance.
Well done, well done. Shall we clap for them? Shall we put our hands together?
This news was in partnership with Obinko Pharmaceuticals Limited, producers of Lunat. Bye for now.
Welcome back now to some entertainment news. GBC's Radio Central regional presenter Kofi Sechiama-Pobi is the Radio Tourism Journalist of the Year. He received his award at the Tourism Awards Ghana 2015, which took place at the Banquet Hall in Accra. The theme for this year's awards is Rewarding Excellence through Healthy Competition. Awards is part of the 2015 activities lined up by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Arts. It was in 2 categories, the Hallmark Awards and Competitive Awards. Recipients for the Hallmark category included Mr. Michael Ejig of Modern City Hotels, Tamale, Mrs. Felicia Dankwa, Director, Jofel Catering Services, Mr. Patrick Fars, Holiday Inn Accra, and Best Western Plus Atlantic Hotel, Takoradi. With a competitive category, Menchia Palace, Kumasi won Visitor Attraction of the Year, with Chiao Community Hippo Sanctuary, Upper West Region, won Exemplary Award for Sustainable Eco-Tourism. Tourism Alcoholic Beverage Brand of the Year went to Alomo Bitters. Kofi Sechiama-Pobi of GBC Radio Central won the Radio Tourism Journalist of the Year. Other award winners include Drinking Bar of the Year, which went to Paradise Drinking Sports, Sunyai. Royal Century Resort won 4-Star Hotel of the Year. La Beach Hotel, Accra, was adjudged the overall best and won the 5-Star Hotel of the Year. Tourism Minister Mrs. Elizabeth Ofusejari said, tourism is the heartbeat of every nation.
In the face of stiff competition and other destinations in Africa and the world at large, it is imperative that we do things right to attract the needed tourists to Ghana in order to rake in substantial foreign exchange and also derive the full benefits of tourism.
The military band served up some music for the dancing feet of the audience. That's it for News Hour. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you at 10:30.